The world of cricket has united as one to condemn Australia's attempt to deliberately and illegally alter the condition of the ball in the third test against South Africa. Steve Smith was handed a one-game match ban after being stripped of the captaincy for the remainder of the test in Cape Town after admitting it was a premeditated plan. Here Sportsmail collate the best of the reactions from the cricketing world. Michael Vaughan on Twitter: 1 match ban and 100% March fee fine for Smith #FFS 75% match fee fine for Bancroft and some bloody demerit points for Bancroft. Pathetic penalties for cheating. Surely this moment was the time to set a precedent. All the team should be penalised. How the hell has the vice-captain of this Australian team and all the leadership group not been penalised? #SaveOurs if you only get a one-match ban and hit with a fine over admitting to cheating as an international captain. If the ICC are going by their list of sanctions against certain actions, I think it's time they were updated. #SaveOurs Jason Gillespie Steve Smith's time as Australia captain is surely up. This is a train wreck. This was pre-planned cheating. Shane Warne angry is one of the words and just disappointed in Steve Smith as captain to take that decision to go out there and try to do that. To me it is un-Australian. I don't think Australian players have always done that. I think it has given everyone in the world an opportunity for the way the Australian team plays the game. It has opened them up to criticism from everyone. Michael Atherton, who was fined in 1994 after using dirt on the ball, they are in crisis, aren't they? With the captain and vice-captain having stepped down, but let's not forget at the press conference Steve Smith implicated the whole of the senior leadership group, and that involves 3 or 4 other senior players. It's hard to see really how Steve Smith can survive it on a more permanent nature. Michael Clark told Channel 9 it's premeditated cheating. It's blatant cheating, it's disgraceful. It's not accepted by anyone, and particularly in Australia. We have the best bowling attack in the world. Wouldn't need to cheat to beat anybody. Cameron Bancroft, it's his 8th test match. I can't believe the leadership group has made a decision to do this. They've gone and got the young kid who's played his 8th test match to do that. Graham Swan on 5 Live You have to remember that this Australian team are so friendless in cricket because of the way they have carried on, and especially Warner because of the way he carried on in this series, in South Africa, has stirred up a whole nation. I'm afraid you do not get that abuse in South Africa unless you've brought that upon yourselves, which they undoubtedly have. They've set themselves as this higher than high, this pious team who look down at everyone and set the benchmark for what is right and what is wrong in cricket, when everyone who has played against them knows that is an absolute joke. Because of this there will be a lot of cricketers saying they are getting their just desserts. They absolutely deserve to get the book thrown at them and to be embarrassed and to be hammered for this. It's very frustrating to see your team like the naughty kid at school who gets in trouble and then tells the teacher on you and you get shouted at. That is what everyone feels about the Australian cricket team. I do feel for Bancroft a little bit because he is just following orders, but we all know that is no excuse at the end of the day. Henry Blofeld on Twitter: Smith and Warner should never be allowed to play again. Lehman must go, and Bancroft, though he was presumably sucked in into Curry favor, went along with it. Like match fixing, ball tampering is a cancer and those caught must be completely cut out. Aussie PM's reaction was spot on. It's the saddest and most unbelievable cricket crisis ever. An Australian captain openly admits cheating and then says he's not going to resign the job. Poor old Jim Maxwell. His tearful reaction, that of a true sportsman. I wonder how much the vice-captain had to do with all this. South Africa coach Otis Gibson told SuperSport Television, "I'm shocked at what's gone on. I've never seen anything as blatant as that." The statement from them said it was the leadership group and therefore it was quite a few people involved, so we'll see how the ICC deals with the situation. Dominic Cork, former England bowler 1992-2002 on Sky Sports: "It's premeditated cheating. We knew that as soon as Cameron Bancroft and Steve Smith admitted it in the press conference. I'm a little bit surprised that he has mentioned his leadership group. As captain I would have expected him to take responsibility himself. I feel sorry a little bit for Cameron Bancroft, but you make your own choices." Nasser Hussain summed it up very well, saying you can always say no. You don't have to agree with something that you know in the laws of the game is wrong. Cheating is cheating. I don't think this is just one thing out of the blue and the Australians, it's a slip-up. They are an out-of-control juggernaut at the moment. I think they are rudderless. Darren Lehmann has to take responsibility as coach. We've seen throughout the Ashes and this tour also that there have been certain things that just have not sat right with a lot of international players. There has seemed to be flippant use of embarrassing Johnny Barstow in a press conference, laughing at Headbuttgate, trying to accuse Jimmy Anderson of picking the seam and taking dirt out, and Steve Smith, although he said last night that he still feels he is still the right man, he should have went then. If he had any integrity he would have went into that press conference and said, "Look, I'm the leader, Yes, Cameron Bancroft has been caught, but I take the responsibility. I'm the man whose head must go. Steve Smith should have made it easier for Cricket Australia and said, "Look, this is the wrong decision. I've made the wrong decision. I'm the leader. I've made the wrong decision. I'm going now." Can Smith survive as captain? I don't think he can and should not do. I think Cricket Australia have to take a firm stance. When you are in control as a coach, a captain, a vice-captain, you have to take the responsibility. I believe that all three should go, including Darren Lehmann, and Cricket Australia need to stamp this right now and make the decision. An international team, a Premier League team, whatever sport you're following, you're always trying to get one over on the opposition. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know how they believed they were going to get away with it, the amount of cameras that are there. They must think they are just untouchable. And I go back to this out-of-control juggernaut. Where is the management to say, "Hang on guys, we can't act like this"? Where is the bowling coach? David Saker, used to be England bowling coach. Is he not involved? Does he not talk to his bowlers? Cricket Australia have got a big problem. It's a brand. There are so many different things that this is not just going to get swept under the carpet. Warner, Smith, Lehmann, and co., this will just keep rumbling and rumbling and rumbling. Does this tarnish Smith's rep? It does. Of course it does. When you admit cheating in sport, you look at other heroes we all had around who have admitted drug taking or cheating or match fixing, it never goes away. And that is the disappointment. Smith is such a great player. He's turned his career around, he's the most unorthodox batsman. You would pay money to watch this guy. And that is what is disappointing. Also, what a series we've seen, South Africa versus Australia. Pace, passion, all tarnished again, and that is what is the most disappointing thing for me. For this to happen, it beggars belief how they came to this decision, and I'm sure they will rue it for the rest of their lives. Ernie ELS on Twitter: the whole Australian team must be banned. Graham Smith, South Africa 2002 to 2014. Just watching this series, I found this Australian team to be very different to the other Australian teams that I came across in terms of the way they have handled themselves. Kevin Peterson on Twitter: slept on it. Lehmann, Saker and the leadership's group's jobs are untenable. They've disgraced a great cricketing nation and Test cricket. Simon Kaddish on Sen Radio, Melbourne radio station: I think when Cricket Australia front the media, they've got no option but to stand and then sack Smith, Warner and Lehmann. They've got no option because this was premeditated and calculated at the break, and those guys are in charge of Cameron Bancroft behaving the way he did. It's a bigger problem than that. He's been instructed to do this, and anyone in cricket knows the captain and coach are in control of what happens in the team. I love Steve Smith, but unfortunately he's made a serious error, and I think it's going to cost him the captaincy of Australia. If CA come out of this and condone sledging, they condone blatant cheating, then the message they send to the thousands of kids that they want to aspire to wear the baggy green is a far worse message than a few guys losing their jobs.